Hey guys, welcome back to Tremor Trails. Today I want to do a quick video on dual battery systems and the down and dirty battery system that I just installed into the truck. One of the most important things you're going to learn out there on the trails is your power consumption and how do you keep things powered when you get to the campsite. Today we're just going to hit on it really quick and talk about it, so let's go. Start the clock! One thing I know about overlanding is all the gear and tech and everything that goes into it. You're always going to feel like a dog chasing its tail. At least that's for me personally. I guess with us being quasi full-time overlanders, my learning curve has been a little bit more steep than other people. And so I wanted to try and help you out. Maybe not make the mistakes that I made when it came to portable battery systems. Now my setup may not work for you, but this will give you some information of what maybe to look at and what not to look at. When we first started, I went with something small and simple that was still $600 freaking dollars, and that was this little Goal Zero Yeti 500X. This thing did everything I needed it to do around camp in the beginning. Essentially, you have a couple DC and AC ports that you can use for simple things, but I found that the power would constantly drain out pretty quick after about a day or two. Now, of course, for us, our power consumption is we're charging lots of battery packs and stuff like that to film, but also just your regular flashlights and your lanterns. Everything is powered USB these days to get charged back up. And so what I found out really quick was that this little guy just wouldn't do everything I needed it to do. Well, there's $600 learned really fast. You just want to charge some cell phones through the night, or you have a few lights around camp that you set up. Something like that would probably do you okay. As for us though, we stepped it up and we went to a refrigerator. Now, if you're still using a cooler out there on the trails and you're only going out once or twice a year, kudos to you. For us though, I will never go back to a cooler. I was tired of being out on trails nonstop trying to find ice, or the food and the bread would be all squishy from the water down there in the Ziploc baggies, and I couldn't handle it anymore. So we stepped up to a refrigerator. We went with an ARB Elements fridge. This thing is freaking awesome. It holds so much food and drinks, it's stupid. The problem, of course, going to any kind of refrigerator is that your power consumption has now stepped up a whole lot. Of course, driving down the highway, you can plug in the refrigerator and the truck is going to power that refrigerator and keep it going. But once you get to a campsite and you're there for 8 to 10 hours, your refrigerator is going to have to be powered if you want to keep a good constant temperature of all your food that you're trying to use for the next 3 or 4 days. That led me to the big blue Yeti. I got this from a bud. He bought 2 of them and he sold me this one brand new in the box. This thing is a beast and it's awesome. This thing is 2,000 watts. It has a massive inverter inside of it. It has tons of AC ports. It has tons of DC ports, USB ports, all kinds of gadgets and gizmos. Of course, you can plug it up to solar if you want. This thing will do anything you need it to do, especially as far as power goes. You can run hair dryers off of this thing if you need to. Thank God my wife does not bring a hair dryer out when we are camping. The problem for me though is that we go out for 4 or 5 days at a time, sometimes 2 weeks when we're out on trails, and I couldn't keep this big dude charged up because on my truck I have the small inverter. The problem was that since I have the small inverter, I could not get this charged back up fast enough to keep up with our power consumption needs. Now, if you guys have Pro Power installed on your Tremors or on your Fords, this setup right here is probably ideal for you because it's portable, you can take it in and out of your truck, and you're gonna be able to charge it all the way back up depending on how many hours you're out on a trail. You're never gonna have a fear of running out of juice. I looked into actually getting the Pro Power installed on the truck from Ford, and the price was just ridiculous. Like, why would I spend that kind of money when I can go to something better that's gonna charge even faster and be more streamlined? And that's where we ended up on the down and dirty system. This is a RedArc system. It's a BC-DC 1225D. This itty bitty unit right here will charge a massive lithium battery in about 2 to 3 hours completely up to 100%. What we got in here is this is a box that I bought off of good old Amazon. I'll leave the link in the description if you're curious about this kind of setup. And I had CB Adventure Supply out there in Fort Worth, Texas, build this box for me. And essentially what it is you have the RedArc on top, you have your main connector, you have your solar connector, you have 2 USB ports, you have your typical cigarette lighter, and you have a voltmeter. Inside, you have a Discover lithium battery that works off Bluetooth. I can see the charge rate and the decharge rate of it. And everything is in this tiny little box, and I am done with any of my power needs. RedArc has changed the game when they came online several years ago. I don't know what they do in their technology, but it is stupid how fast you can charge a completely drained battery all the way up to 100%, which means that I'm gonna have hundreds of amp hours to use each night before I ever have to worry about running back out of juice. Now, lithium batteries come a long ways since our old cell phone batteries that would die out after a few weeks and would never charge all the way full. These things are now capable of doing thousands of cycles before they get to 80% of their life. When you do the math on that, it's something like 5 to 10 years depending on how much you go out exploring. Return on investment on that's pretty dang good if you ask me. Now with the RedArc system, I can also expand. I can add an additional battery if I want to, inverter if I want to. I mean, it's just limitless, all of the options that I have going further down the road. Instead of buying something one time, realizing that it's just not enough power, stepping up to something else that's a lot more money, realizing that I can't use it properly, this was the way for me to go personally. All in on this, I was $2,100. That includes my installation, them getting hooked up to the battery, the alternator, the box, all the components that they put inside of it. To me, it was a no-brainer, and I'm really excited that I finally just went to the down and dirty system. So once again, if you can, just think of what your power needs are gonna be out there on the trails. If you really are a small minimalist and you don't care a whole lot about power, you just need to power a few lights through the night, or maybe your cell phone, you know, something like this may be your ticket. It's around 600 bucks, which is still pretty expensive. Or you can leap up to something like this. The price has actually come down on these now, and they're around 1,500 bucks, which is still a lot of money, but I think when they first came out, they're around 2,000. And like I said, if you have pro power, something like this will be perfect for you. As for me though, I wanted expandability. I didn't have the pro power, so I went with the RedArc system and a good old down and dirty dual battery system tray. I hope this helped you guys out as far as what you may or may not want to do on your setup. I'll leave a link down below to all of these items. I don't get paid for any of these things. I'm just trying to pass on information to you guys. As for us, I'm excited because right after this video, I'm about to load up the truck and we are heading back out west to do some more fun trails. If you have any questions or comments, guys, please hit me up down below. I will do my best to answer them for you. And until next time, we hope to see you guys out here on the trails. Bye.